Good morning, and welcome back to Beyond the Horizon with Brumby. And I'm your host, Brumby. Okay, you guys, I'm going to start off on a real note. All of this not giving a shit is enough to make you constipated. I'm not going to pretend anymore. I actually give a shit. I actually care, okay? There's no getting away from that. But I do. And I feel deeply, and I feel like lately that's really come out of its shell, and I feel like I kind of want to talk about it. I have so many different podcast topics that I was going to talk about, but honestly, compared to the first episode that I released on this, my first episode, I'm not going to lie to you guys, was very thought through. Like, extremely. I wrote an essay out of what I wanted to say. I had practiced it over and over and over beforehand. This one, you're not getting that. This one is raw. I have a couple little notes, and other than that, we are getting through this for the first time together. Because I have no idea what I'm going to talk about, and I have no idea what I'm going to say. Sometimes, okay, being a yapper is so funny, because sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying. And we're going to experience this for the first time together, and we'll see what comes out of my mouth, all right? So first things first, let me see if I wrote anything down, because I genuinely can't remember what I was going to talk about. Okay. I don't want to talk about that. So, life lately, it's been interesting. It's been really, really, really good. I cannot complain. I genuinely don't have anything to complain about. Yeah, I've had some rough times. Like the past 72 hours, so much has gone down. And it's not even just with one thing or one person, just so much has gone down, and I haven't really talked about it with anybody. And I kind of took it out on one person specifically, and I feel kind of bad because I kind of scared the shit out of them. And okay, Your Honor, I was just being a little silly. Ew, I don't know if I like the audio. If you guys don't like the audio, sorry, not sorry. You'll be fine. But as far as like the last few hours, 72 hours, the last 3 days, with everything going down, and with the way I've taken it out, I didn't get mad at anybody, but I kind of just like emotionally dumped on someone, and it's not the person I wish I had done that to. This person, oh my god, I think I love this person. Like, I'm in love with this person. Don't tell them I said that, though. And I'm pretty sure we're not talking anymore. But it's like, that still stands. To feel that for somebody is so crazy. And especially to feel that for somebody when, like, so much other shit is going on and they're the only one you want to talk to or see or be in their presence. Like, that feeling is so specific, and I had never really felt that before. I thought I did. But I was wrong. So I kind of spilled only on this one person. And I really think I effed it up by doing that. But you know what? It's okay. And I'm so grateful for as much as everything that's gone down in the last like week or two. And it's not even just with this person, just stuff in general, whether it's work or whatever else. It's been not a shit show, just a lot. Like, a lot. I had a 17-hour workday the other day, which is not uncommon. It was just a 17-hour workday after a 12-hour workday, after a 10-hour. And so it was kind of piling up. And then mixed with a lot of different emotions and everything. And it really screwed me over. And I wasn't smart enough to kind of take the time and maybe do something like this and talk it out beforehand before spilling that onto somebody else. So, you guys, as much as maybe I should speak specifically to the girlies, because I feel like us girlies can be really emotional. And I'm not saying that in like a sexist way. Like, we care, and guys do too, of course, but they're kind of brought up not to. They're kind of taught not to care. But us girls, we feel deeply. And I want to say, if someone tells you, dude, it's not that deep, like, chill. That's crazy to say, because these are my feelings. Like, just because you don't feel them doesn't mean... Do you guys hear my stomach? Sorry. Just because you guys don't feel them doesn't mean it's not that deep for us. Doesn't mean we aren't going through like a roller coaster of emotions. And what's even frustrating is because we don't even know why. To figure out those emotions, you have to talk them out. And sometimes when you don't have somebody to talk them out with, they end up just spilling onto someone instead. And it might not have even just been that one thing. It might not have just been that one someone. It might have been everything all at once. But we end up spilling our feelings a lot. And I recently did that. So as much as someone can say, it's not that deep. Yep, that's wild to say because it is my feelings. Girl, keep those feelings to yourself. Keep the feelings to yourself, at least for now, until you can work through them and figure out what they're actually coming from and figure out what they actually mean, instead of just don't. Oh my God. Don't spam snap somebody, okay? Your Honor, I was just being a little silly. So that happened with someone. I spam snapped them and I was emotional. And I probably really scared the shit out of them. I actually know I did. They're like, you're scaring me, Pearl. I don't know what that means. But I was like, no, that's so valid. Okay. But so here I am instead of... I don't know if this audio is good. Okay, you guys, will be fine. Here I am, instead of talking it out with them or somebody else, I'm talking it to a camera. But it's okay. That's what podcasts are for. We're going to work through this stuff together, you guys. But so I want to talk about... I don't even know what I want to talk about. Let's see. Hold on, give me a second to think. My brother was doing that lately on a FaceTime. You guys, I miss my brother. Sometimes he'll FaceTime me and it just reminds me of how much I really cherish him. Like, you cherish your family members. I never felt this way before, but recently I wouldn't give up anything for my family. I love my family. They are my backbone. And let me tell you, my lower back, or just the lower back in general, I feel like is poorly designed. So to have a family like I do, I can't help but be grateful, and I really can't complain about anything. I used to in the past, and I used to have a really hard time, but now growing up and coming into the light, like, you know when your mom says, one day you'll know, one day you'll understand, and you're like, okay, thanks. Well, today I don't understand, so you need to shut the fuck up. No, she was a real one with that, because that day came and I genuinely do understand. I do understand how... Oh, sorry. I'm like making a mess. I do understand how simple and loving life can be if you just have the right circle. And I'm so grateful that my right circle happens to be my family. And that's not the entirety of my family. Of course, we're not all close, and we all have had our little fallouts, and we've all had things. We're all still working and growing. It doesn't matter how old you are, there's always something to work on and grow on and learn something new about yourself, or how you treat others, or whatever it is. There's something new to learn about your heart, no matter how old you get. And I'm so grateful that I have a family that is willing to work through that stuff with each other. And I have no reason to complain. A year or two ago, I would have complained your ass off. Honestly, because I just didn't know. I just didn't think of it. And now that I do think of my family and how lucky I am, I can't help but cherish it. And to think that I was this close to really pushing them all away. Like, when I randomly moved to Australia, that was 2022? Ooh, that's some lore, you guys. When I randomly moved to Australia, that was something that was really running away from my family. And I wasn't running towards something, I was really running away. And that made it all the worse. So I'm grateful to be back. I'm grateful. I live with my grandma. I'm in her basement right now. And just knowing, you guys, that she's upstairs, like, happy, alive, healthy. I don't know if she's healthy, but she's doing pretty good. Her and I have been getting into the animal crackers lately, so maybe we could lay off of those a little bit. But other than that, that feeling of knowing she's upstairs and she's okay and I can be there for her and take care of her and vice versa. I think she likes having someone to take care of. It's really comforting and it's really nice to have that feeling to come home to. So I've been working a lot lately, and I mean a lot. And I'm mentally, not now, I think I've recovered in the last few days. I also got really sick in like the last 48 hours, and I slept the shit off yesterday and last night. So I feel a lot better now, but it was kind of my sign to say, hey, you need to slow down for a moment. You need to physically and mentally slow down for a moment, because just, so like I said, working my ass off, and then I could just come home and be like, oh my God, like I need a day off. I can't wait. Sorry if you guys can hear my stomach growling, just disregard. That feeling of coming home, I could be saying, oh, I can't wait for a day off. Like I just am so tired of working, like just being miserable with life. I could say that because I am just so tired. And yet I'm coming home to my grandma. Like I couldn't be happier. I'm coming home to someone who reboots my battery. I'm coming home to a warm, gentle home. And it's just me and her. And even if she's not home, knowing that she will be at some point, and every time she walks in the door, every time I walk in the door, we say, knock, knock. So waiting for that knock, knock is such a specific feeling, and it's so comforting to have. And I'm so grateful that at this point in my life is when I have it. Because in other points in my life, like, I don't think I would have been able to cherish it like I do right now. I mean, yesterday, I had to call out of work yesterday. I woke up and I swore I had strep throat or something. I obviously don't because it's the next day and I'm fine. But I swore I had strep throat or something, and I've never, ever had this before, but I had a full-blown anxiety attack. And I've never had that. Like, I have in certain circumstances in the past when I didn't understand my emotions, I didn't understand depression, like, I didn't understand how to make those things work for me. But in the past, like, year or two, I have not had something like that where my chest, my heart physically hurt. And it was eye-opening because I'm like, okay, something's wrong. Like, I really need to slow down and I really need to take a second and breathe. And I need to get some sleep. So you best bet I popped some Tylenol PMs and knocked the fuck out. I actually went into grandma's bed. I went and slept with grandma. She scratched my arm so I could fall asleep. So she's a real one for that. But yeah, there's been a lot that just kind of really came out yesterday morning. And it was eye-opening because I haven't felt that much emotion in a long time. And even when I did feel that much emotion before, I could never pinpoint to what it was. But yesterday morning, I could pinpoint it. And it was for like the stupidest reason. Oh, actually, that's so invalidating to say. It was not for the stupidest reason. For the first time in my life, podcasts are about being honest. And I want to be honest with you guys, but I also don't want to share too much. I do want to cherish my private life, and I do want to cherish certain things that are special, and I want them to be special just for me. So I don't want to share too much, but I also have to be real. In high school, I was not one who went around and dated boys or even got out there. And I didn't have my first kiss until I was 20 years old. I'm 21, y'all. I'm 21. And I'm so grateful for that, to an extent. I'm so grateful for that because throughout all of high school, I felt so confident. Like, I felt really, really good about myself. And as much as I was going through stuff that I needed to figure out on my own, and it took some growing up to do that, I'm still grateful for how I saw myself in high school. And then I dabbled a little bit. And I kind of got addicted to that attention from a boy. And it kind of all went downhill a little bit within like within the last year. Hold on, I disregard. I'm cool. But I want to say within the last year, it's kind of been like that. But in the last, 3 or 4 months, I've really, really liked how my love life, I guess you could say. Again, sorry, stomach growling. I need to eat. But I really, really like how my love life has gone in the past few months. As much as there's only been 2 possibilities or 2 people that have like been an interest to me. And one was just like, I don't know, like what thing where you go on a family trip and you just meet one boy or something. It's on the trip. It's because you're out of the country or in a brand new place. So one of them was that for me, but it was genuinely just interest. I don't believe in love at first sight. I definitely believe in lust at first sight. So I was very attracted to this person and we really hit it off. But, okay, I don't want to generalize. This isn't all guys for sure, but it's come clear to me that a lot of times guys just want one thing out of you, and then once they get it, they completely lose interest, which girls are like that too. But so that first one, that like trip fling or whatever that I was interested in, he was really, really a sweet guy. He genuinely was, but he also very much was a guy. And I also was probably a lot for him. I'm a lot for a lot of people. Oh my gosh. I really hope you guys can't hear my stomach growling in this, because that's probably annoying as shit, but yes, you can. Okay. I feel like I'm a lot. Okay. I'm going to gaslight myself into thinking I'm full so no more stomach growls happen. I think I'm a lot for a lot of people. I know I am. I don't want to say dramatic because that's really invalidating. It's not emotional either. I just feel a lot of emotion. I just really feel. I really care for the moment and I really think deeply about things. And I'm really grateful to my parents and my family that brought me up that way, because now I'll be in a moment with my family members, whoever it is, no matter who it is, I'll be in a moment. And if it's a good moment, I'll like sit and cherish it. I savor the shit out of that, you guys. And I'm so grateful that I can do that and savor the moment I'm in, knowing that I'll never get it again, rather than experience the moment and then, a year later miss that and have it be nostalgic and to have never appreciated it for what it was. So I don't mind feeling deeply. Oh my God! Stop! I need to go eat a Nutter Butter or something. No, sorry, something healthy. I need to go eat a Poke Bowl, or I don't know. I've been just working off Poke Bowls lately. Those are the shit. So, anyways, I like that I feel deeply, and that scares a lot of people. Like, for someone to open up and just kind of spill to you, I don't mean overshare. I used to overshare, but lately I've been really, really trying with that because I do want to keep those good things to myself. I do want to have something to cherish in my own mind and not spill to everybody. So I've been really working on that. But I still do share. I still will be honest with you, and I will communicate the shit with you no matter who you are, whether you're a love interest, whether you're a family member, whether you're my best friend. Hey, Hannah, shout out, love you, miss you. But I will communicate with you because I don't think it's fair to anybody to have to try and read my mind. Like when someone asks a girl, or just in general, I shouldn't say a girl, but when someone asks, oh, are you okay? And someone goes, oh, I'm fine. Yeah, no, I'm fine. And you don't communicate how you actually feel. And given a lot of times people won't communicate how they actually feel because they don't know themselves. But when someone goes, oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. And the other person just accepts that. Well, the one who said they're fine, you can't get mad at them when they actually assume that you're fine. Like, you didn't communicate. You can't expect people to read your minds. You can't expect people to understand how you feel if you don't understand how you feel and if you don't communicate that with them. And given if you don't understand how you feel in the moment, then just start talking about it. Just start communicating, and then you'll come to understand it in the future. Like, you'll get to that point. Like, right now in this podcast, starting this episode right now, I don't know how I feel at all about a lot of situations. I don't know how I feel about this recent boy. I don't know how I feel about my work. I don't know how I feel about the position I'm in or the amount of money in my bank account or whatever it is. But talking it out like this is, I mean, it's very much clarity for me, and it's clarity that I needed. So I'm hoping it becomes clarity for you guys too. But yeah, lately it's been kind of crazy. And I definitely have felt more emotion in the last 72 hours than I have felt in like the last year combined. And that's crazy to say. That's actually wild because a lot of it was because of this one person, given there was a lot more going on too that they don't even know about, but it was because of this one person, and I'm so grateful to them. Like, we're not even talking right now, and I don't even know if we'll ever talk again, but I'm so grateful to them. To the whole situation, it's something that opened my eyes, being able to meet someone like this, and kind of grounded me in a way that I really needed. Because I've said this before, and I'll say it over and over again because it's something that I really want to make sure people understand. There is a difference between confidence and ego, and I see it every day because it's in me. Like, I'm still learning that line between my confidence and my ego, and sometimes my ego skyrockets, and I very much get what's it called? Like a superiority complex, and it kicks in sometimes. And it's not fun. That's not how I want to feel. That's not how I want to act. I want to feel confident, but I don't want to be egotistical. So I'm still learning where that line is, and I think I've done a good job of it as of late. But I really, really came to hit when I met this person, and it grounded the shit out of me. And I was like, oh, is like my whole way of thinking wrong? I don't know. That's something that they said too, that they said, they're like, maybe I'm doing everything wrong. And maybe I'm doing everything right. I don't know. That's kind of hard to look at because I don't think there is a right or wrong to anything. For me to think the way I do, that could be completely wrong to somebody else. The way I'm speaking right now could be completely wrong to one of you listening. But to me, it's right. So there's no right or wrong. It's just personal preference of what works best for you, what can make you become the person you want to be. And how can you become the person that others need? You don't have to be selfish all the time. It's really good to be selfless. There's people that you need to take care of. There's your family that you need to take care of. And, some people don't need to take care of their family. You have different relationships and everything. So, right, that's where that right and wrong comes in. For me to cherish and take care of my family, and for a big goal of mine later on to be I would be able to take care of every single family member of my family. Like, they won't need me to do that. I know they won't need me to do that. My family is very, very good and successful, and I'm very proud of them. But there's still a part of me that wants to know that I could, if need be, take care of every single member of my family. And that's a right for me. But for someone else listening or watching, you might have not a good relationship with your family, or it might be non-existent. So for you, the way I think is wrong. So it just depends on personal preference. But for me, I want to work hard, not only for others, but for myself as well. But a big part of it nowadays is for others. I want to be able to give back to my mom everything. I'll never be able to pay her back. For everything she's given me and everything she's done for me, I will never be able to pay that woman back. If anything, her back is sore from carrying the weight of this shit. She's done such an amazing job, and a big goal of mine is to be able to provide for her the experiences and the love that she's given me. I want to do the same for her to the best of my ability. And that goes for multiple members of my family, not just her, but my grandmother and everything as well, especially my grandfather. Oh, you guys, he's so funny. He's so funny. I want to say I got my humor from him, but I can't even say that because he's way too funny for me. And I think I'm funny. But that also depends on the day and depends on the person I'm with. I have not been able to... Okay, topic switch. I have not been able to be funny lately. Like, I just haven't been around the right people, or I have not been in the right mood. I don't know what it is, but that shit really depends, because around certain people, I'm fucking hilarious. I'm hilarious, and I surprise myself. But around others, I can't get a word out. I stutter, and if they're funnier than me, I have to shut the fuck up, because I just can't do it. I hate it. I've done this so much recently. I hate it when I waste a good joke on a boring person or someone who doesn't get it. Like, I could have said that to somebody else and I said it to you, but you know what? It's fine. I'll write that one down. Write it down. And I'll save it for someone else later. See, I don't even know where this conversation's going. I kind of love this little podcast deal. It's really helping me a lot because this time yesterday was not chill. I was passed out with like strep throat thing, anxiety thing going. And I hate talking about the fact that I experience anxiety because I feel like it has such a connotation of it and be like, oh, she doesn't have her shit together or she like doesn't know how to work this or work that. Like it's kind of pathetic, but it's not. Like everybody experiences anxiety. It's just a thing we go through. And some days it's more than others and some days it's non-existent. It really depends on how you were brought up and how you were taught to handle it and if you were taught to handle it at all. So my little attack yesterday was intense. And the fact that I went and crawled into bed with my grandma and had her scratch my arm for me to fall asleep and everything was kind of a sign of like, okay, so this was some real shit that went down this last week. Because for me to feel that way, for one, at first I felt really pathetic. At first I'm like, why am I feeling like this? I want to say, okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. A huge reason I had this was because of a boy. Because of a boy. And I can't even lie to you. He's a man. I called him a boy the other day. I was like, no, you're not a man. You're a boy. He's a man. But I felt this way over him and it like induced the anxiety, which was crazy to me because it feels out loud so stupid to say. But when you experience this bliss with someone and this overwhelming, heartfelt feelings for someone, and then it's just taken away like that, it is a whole nother type of pain that I did not know about. And I thought I knew about it, but I didn't. Like, this is the first time in my life where I actually felt, if anybody else, I don't even know how to say this. This is the first time in my life where I felt loved, genuinely loved. And I don't mean by of course I felt that way from my family members and everything in the past, but from another person, one-on-one, like that was some real shit. And it was only over the span of a week, which is also insane, you guys. Insane to say that. But I am being for real, and I will always be grateful. Even if me and this person never talk again, I am so grateful for them because to know that that's how it's supposed to feel, to know that that's how you're supposed to be treated, like I thought that shit was from the movies. And I kept saying that to him, like, thank you this, thank you that, thank you, thank you, thank you. And he's like, this is the bare minimum. No, I was treated so incredibly well over this last week. And I'm so grateful for that because I've never, ever experienced that before. And I will always, that is wild to say. That is wild. I might regret this. Nah. Fuck it. We ball. Okay. I will always have a love for this person now. Whether I talk to them ever again or not, I do feel deeply. I will not hide that fact. I feel deeply and I will always have a love for this person because of that. Because they showed me that it actually like is possible and you can find guys like that out there who genuinely do want to just treat you the right way, have no other intentions, and when they are like head over heels for you, even if it's just for one day, even if they just I can't stop thinking about you. To know someone feels that way is so validating. Because, of course, I feel like we all get crushes and we all get those times where you cannot stop thinking about somebody and you just wish someone would feel that way about you. Well, to have someone voice that, I experienced that in the last week, to have someone voice that they feel that way about you and that they can't stop thinking about you is so validating and it's so healing. Even though I swear to God, like I experienced heartbreak the 2 days ago, and nothing specific even happened. I just spilled a lot of my emotions on him, and that wasn't really fair to him. It was like super late, and with everything balled up, I just spilled, and he was the one I ended up spilling on. And I do feel bad because that's not really fair to him, because we haven't really known each other long enough for me to do that, but still, it happened. And you know what, Your Honor, I was just a little silly, okay? I was just acting a little crazy. Shut the fuck up. This is what I'm talking about, is those kind of emotions and stuff. If you can't think clearly when making something, or you feel like you're just heated, then you need to stop. You need to stop making that video. You need to stop doing that voice recording. You need to stop typing that novel of a text. And you need to give it a day. Because I didn't give it a day, and I really let it out. I don't know if I did. It was kind of like an in-between. Like, I could have I don't know. Now that I think about it, I was definitely emotional, and it's okay for people to be emotional, but for him, this guy's not very emotional. It probably scared the shit out of him, and I know it did, which is fine. But that is still a part of me. So I don't fully regret it, because that's me. Take it or leave it. I do feel deeply. I do care. And for someone, and I do want you to know my thoughts. If I care about you and I do think of you a certain way, especially if it's positive, I want you to know that, because anyone deserves to know that. If I'm walking down the street and a guy walks past me, or a girl, whoever it is, and they're so attractive, like they're just so stunning to look at, jaw-dropping, okay? I will tell you, you deserve to know that. People need those affirmations sometimes. Yes, you can give them to yourself, but it's so healthy to give those to other people too. A beautiful girl walks in, you are so stunning. Like, oh my God, that suits your eyes so much. Just give them that. Feed them. Sometimes people really, really need that. And I know I do. So it's never bad to compliment somebody, even if, especially, it's even the best actually when you have no intentions. So with this guy, like even in the beginning, I actually didn't have intentions with him. He kind of had intentions with me first, because I kind of shut him down first, and we kind of both did it to each other. It was like an equal little game, but I would tell him, I mean, he was so grounding. The way he thought was really, really impressive. And I hadn't experienced someone like that before, who thinks the way he does. And I was really, really impressed. And it's funny because I said that out loud. He's like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to say that. I'm not saying this stuff looking for your affirmation. I just want you to know. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, that's genuinely the way he thinks. This guy was the first person I ran into who, he didn't do anything for anybody else's attention. Like, he knew who he was. He knows who he is. And the way he went about life in general was just with, like, the purest of, what is it called? The purest intentions. For everything he did, like, he would give you his all. He never, again, I haven't known him insanely long. Like, I've known him over, like, the past year, but actually talking to him deeply, not insanely long. But you can just tell. When you meet a good person, you can just tell. Because this guy was someone who, no matter what you asked him to do or whatever it was, he's giving it 110%. And I was really impressed to see that actually in a person. And I was impressed to see real good intentions in a person, rather than doing something looking for attention, or doing something looking for validation, or just any type of, because I do that. I mean, I would say that we all do that, but now I met someone like him, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, I can actually achieve that, where you're doing a task and you're not doing it for the validation, you're not doing it just to make yourself feel good. Because even I do that sometimes. Recently, my grandma's garden, that really needed to be cut down, and she had explained herself about that. And I think a year ago, I would have, like, came over and I would have cut down the whole garden for her and took care of it, just for her to say, oh my God, you're so amazing. Oh my God, you're so great. Like, I appreciate that so much. You're such a wonderful grandchild. A year ago, that's probably why I would have done it. But to have found myself, like, I don't know, just recently doing it, I found myself not thinking that. I found myself thinking, oh, I really need to cut this down because grandma shouldn't have to do it. Like, I'm more than capable to do it for her, and grandma deserves care like this sometimes. So that was a switch that I didn't realize was coming about, but it did. And when I was talking to this guy as of late, he always thought that way, it seemed. He was doing things for other people because that's what they deserved. He was showing up for his father, his mother, his siblings because that's what they deserved. It didn't seem like he was ever really doing it for him, which is really, really, really an actual good human being. But then yet, sometimes I wonder if he always did stuff just for them. I wonder if he does stuff for himself sometimes, too. I don't know. I wasn't able to talk to him long enough, and I wasn't able to really dig into that. But that's also not my place to dig into that. But all I'm saying is meeting someone who just had the best of intentions and showed up with the best of their ability every time was really impressive and was really eye-opening to the fact of, like, okay, well, there's better reasons for me to be going about this than for what I was saying, like the lifestyle that I want or the skills that I want to learn or the stuff I want to do for other people. Like, a lot of times there would be hidden reasons in there of, like, oh, I want that attention. I want that validation. I want honestly, revenge on people that, like, I wouldn't go out of my way for revenge, but I just wanted to look so good or do so well that those other people would feel like shit and be like, fuck, she, like, really made it and I didn't. Who thinks that way? All of us. We all think that way for the most part. I mean, say I post something on Instagram, sometimes I'd post it and be like, no, I want this one specific person to be like, oh shit, she's doing really well. Like, oh, she's doing better than me. Like, that comparison would sit in my mind once in a while. And I don't think, for one, that's not fair to the other person. And for two, guys, they don't give a fuck. Like, they don't care whatsoever what you're doing. Everybody is so in their heads and worried about their own life so much, they do not care. So if you're doing it for those reasons, you're doing them for the wrong reasons. So, like, people who have a problem with me, if this is the way I think, I have to think that other people are thinking of this with me too. People who have a problem with me, that's so wild because I do not care. And if I'm thinking that about them, other people that I have a problem with are probably thinking the same thing. Like, why does Sydney have a problem with me? Because I do not care. Do you get what I mean? There's just, everyone is so developed, or not developed, everyone is so enveloped in their own head about their own life that they're really not paying any attention to you. And be so grateful for that. Be so grateful for that. You could think of it, be like, oh, no one's paying attention to me. That really sucks. Like, no one's noticing. Guys, no one's noticing. No one cares. No one's paying attention. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Just, like, what? Be a good person. That's really all that comes down to it. And when I say be a good person, I don't just mean, oh, make sure you do good deeds all the time and go out of your way for other people all the time. That doesn't just include being there for other people. Being a good person includes yourself as well. You cannot be a good person unless you take care of yourself. Whether it's mentally, physically, whatever it is. Like, if you think, oh, your mother, if you think, oh, your best friend, if you think this person, whatever else, this person, that person, oh, this person deserves the best. I'm going to give them my best. I hope you're thinking that about yourself as well. I hope you're thinking, oh, this person, me, as in me, I'm pointing at myself right now, and you should be doing the same, deserves the best. I should give them my best. That's an all-around thing. It's not just to anybody that's out of your circle. That's to you as well. You are also in your circle. And I hope that not only are you giving everybody else 110%, but you should be giving that to yourself as well. Because no one, and especially significant others that come into your life, even if it's for a day, even if it's for 20 years, no, like, that person should be treating you just as good as you treat yourself. So think about that. Imagine you're saying all of this negative stuff about yourself and you say, oh, I suck. I can't do anything right. Like I don't deserve that. All these things that could really put you down. Now imagine your significant other thinking those things and saying them to your face. Hello? Would you stay with that person? I best as fucking hope not. Why would you stay with someone who treats you like that? Vice versa, why would you be someone who treats yourself like that in the first place? If you don't want, you should treat yourself exactly how you want your significant other to treat you. If they should be treating you better, if anything. Like, obviously, well, I was going to say you can't get yourself flowers and blah, blah. Yes, of course you can. Go get yourself flowers. Go do like these little things. Go out on a random Thursday and go to a jazz bar and just see what it's like. Okay? Those little things are really, really important. And how you treat yourself is really important. You cannot be in another relationship with somebody, whether it's platonic, whether it's romantic. If you can't take care of yourself first, you will not be able to take care of them. You need to be able to take care of yourself first because they don't want to double load. They got to take care of themselves as well. They don't want to have to take care of you in the process. This is like a 50-50. No, it's 100% street. Like, I genuinely believe this. A relationship is not 50-50. Again, no matter the relationship, whether it's platonic or romantic, it is 100. You give yourself, you give them your best also with yourself. Like, there's so many variables that go into it, but it's also so simple. Just give your best in everything. Whether it's them, whether it's you, it doesn't matter. Give your best because that it really does come through in the long end and it makes for a better relationship. And that self-love and that self-care is so important because you're not going to be able to give that effort to somebody else if you don't give it to yourself first. That's all I can say. And I know I've repeated it, so I hope you fucking got it. But I'm going to round this podcast out because I think I've been talking for at least an hour and I've actually had to restart recording because I lost the audio of my last clip of like 20 minutes. So I'm back. Hello, how are you guys? But to round out this podcast, I just want to say that make sure you keep an open mind on things. Make sure that you keep an open heart on things. And just know that even if you feel like one day you completely met your soulmate or whatever else, and then it's gone the next, that's so okay. Take what you can from that. Like from this experience I just had, from this beautiful, amazing hearted person. And I genuinely don't have anything bad to say about him, which is crazy because usually I do. Usually I can have something to nitpick to make myself feel better about the situation. That's a huge thing. If you are getting out of a situation, do not nitpick the other person to make yourself feel better or have these like excuses as to, okay, say like I had something with a guy and then it ended and be like, you know what? He didn't call me back. He didn't do this, but it's fine. So it's not meant to be. You're nitpicking and you're saying these excuses and bringing them up simply to make yourself feel better about the situation. That's really shitty. It's not and it is. It depends. But to the other person, that's really shitty. Like if they're a really actually a good person, that's not really fair to them. So I genuinely do not have anything to nitpick about this person. I am in awe of them and I'm not even religious, but I'm praying to God that we speak again, even if it's just as friends, because this was a very, very good human being. So take those moments and just appreciate them with people that you meet and be open-minded, be open-hearted, take in the lesson that you can, because from this experience I just had, I didn't lose anything, but I gained everything. And I might have lost him, but I don't know that yet, so I can't put that out there in the universe because I don't know what will happen. And if it is, that's fine. He has everything going for him. I have everything going for me. And all you can do is keep working towards what you want. And what I want, I've been very vocal about it, is that millionaire, luxury, wealthy lifestyle. But meeting this person kind of changed that, which I am grateful for. And that's insane to say, because if you were to ask me a week ago, I would not have said that. So when you meet people, and especially those people that hit home really hard, just like savor that and think on it and figure out, okay, is what I've been wanting for so long really what I want? Like, yes, I do want to be rich, of course, but it's not about the money. And it wasn't really before, but that's kind of a lie, me saying that. It really was. Now, within, I don't even know, but this guy that I talked to solidified me thinking about it this way. Now it's really not about the money. It's about the freedom that comes with it, and it's about who I can take care of. I want to be able to take care of my family. I want to be able to take care of every single member of my family, even if they don't need that. I want to be able to know that I could do that because that's what they deserve. And just be grateful for those moments when you meet somebody that can completely turn you on your toes and literally take you for a ride, because you're like, what the fuck was that? It's times like those where you really, where real growth happens, is when you completely get a new perspective on things. So just for times like that, be grateful, be open-minded, and take it for what it is. If you lose it, you lost it. Take the L and fucking move on. Think through what you learned and find different perspectives and ways to think about things, and be grateful for that person, whether they were a good or bad person. That's kind of like, that's a whole nother topic. You can't really put people in good or bad. It's just whether they're good or bad for you. But whether they were a good person for you or not, there's always a lesson to be learned. So just be entirely grateful of it. And make sure you keep your good heart, because as much as I want these big dreams and I do want these crazy luxury lifestyles and I want to be rich, it's more important to me now to be rich in health and rich in love, rich in discipline. That's huge, rich in discipline, because I will not be able to make any of these things happen, especially for my family, if I don't have that discipline. So just stay focused. And if you lose focus, find what you can learn from it and keep moving on and keep moving forward. Keep your good heart. Care for people. Care for yourself. That's huge. And move on. And try again. And fail again. And try again. Because why not? Okay. Thank you guys for listening to this podcast. I hope the audio wasn't too all over the place. I had a little technical difficulties. But other than that, I really do love you guys. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the second episode. Thanks for listening. And I'm out. Love you. Brumby.